Hello everyone, and welcome to the concluding part of this paper that we were solving, that is the May-June 2020 IT Practical Paper 4. So in the first part, we looked at how to create the Wi-Fi strength 2 by putting together the surround, the scale, and the needle. We also added gradient further down to the scale and added it to a new image as well, naming it scale 2. Now in this portion, or in this part, we are going to look at how to animate the pin along the scale over a given time and then export it as an animated GIF or an SWF. So we are going to go straight into our Flash software or Adobe Animate and begin. So here we are in our Animate software. I'm going to go to create new, and then I ensure that my pixel width, as indicated in the question, is 600. Can still maintain the 480 and then click create. Now go here and then resize it to fit to window, and the first thing I need to do is to export or import instead all the items that we saved in the first part of this tutorial. So I'm going to say import to library, and then over here I'm going to pick the transparent background bitmaps, the ones in PNG. So I have my pin, I have my surround, and I'm going to pick my scale. Make sure you pick the gradient filled scale, not the transparent one, and say open. So on the first layer, I'm going to rename it to surround, and then I'm going to drag my surround and drop it onto our stage. Like this. Next, I'm going to pick the freehand tool and then resize it so that it fits to the stage, just like that. And next, the next thing we need to take note of is the time total of an animation. So let's go back to the question and let's see how long in total our animation will last. So first, we have 2 seconds here, then 1 second making 3, another 1 second here making 4, and then another one here making 5, and we have 2 seconds here making 7. So in total, our animation must last for 7 seconds. So I'll go back to Animate and ensure that my background at least should last for the 7 seconds for the entire duration of the animation. So on my timeline, I look for 7 seconds here. Click on it once, right click and just say insert frame. Insert frame because it's not going to do any animation, it's not going to be involved in any movement or change in color or anything. So I just say insert frame. The same thing applies to the scale. So I'm going to create a new layer for the scale, rename it scale, then drag and drop on my stage. Make sure it's centered, just like this. For that as well, and frame inserted. So for the entire duration of this animation, it's just going to appear. Now the next thing is the pin. I'll create another layer for pin, name it pin, and then drop my pin onto it. Now here we need to do some adjustments because the pin needs to be behind this circle, and so I'm going to drag my pin beneath the surround like this, but it must be in front of the scale. So I'll bring the scale under the pin, and the pin has to move up a bit. So I select the pin and use the key arrow keys to move it up. Now I need to right click the pin, or I need to convert the pin into a symbol, because that's what's going to be doing the movement. So I can go to modify and then say convert to symbol, and I can name this pin underscore 1. And then when you look at your library here, it's not part of your library. And when you look closely, in the middle of the pin, you have this white dot here. Now I'm going to pick the free transform tool. I still have the white dot there, and I'm going to ensure that the white dot comes down here. So let me hide the surround. So the white dot is sort of at the center of the bottom of the pin. So when I move the pin around, it picks that as the center. So let's put it on the center like this. Let's bring the surround back. Now we are going to select the pin layer and then insert a motion twin, because this is where the motion is going to start from. So it begins with our pin starting from 0. Let's check. Yeah, it begins from 0 and then moves to 97 seconds moves to 97%, sorry, in 2 seconds. So I pick my playhead, move to 2-second mark, and then still with my free transform tool, when I see this curved cursor or this rounded arrow, it means I can rotate. So I just click and drag it to somewhere 97, somewhere here, and release. But first, let's make sure the pin is rightly positioned. Now, when you look at the pin here, it's somewhere into the scale than what we have. So let's do that correction quickly. So we can do that by I think it's okay. But when it gets to the 100 mark, you see that it's almost off. It means our scale is not well positioned. So or the pin instead. Let's see the pin. It means the pin needs to increase in size a bit, just a little bit. I think that's okay. Next, we need to move from the 2-second mark 1 second to 65. So we add 1 second. On the 3-second mark, we select our pin once again, still with the free transform, and come to somewhere half in between here, between the 60 and then the 70, indicating 65. And then next we need to swing between 65 and 75, 65, 75, 65, 75 in 1 second. And after that, in another 1 second, we return to 0. So we have 65, 75, making it okay. So within 1 second, we might have to be able to do that. So let's count the divisions here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are already on 65 here. Can go to 100 frames and then move to 75, 110 frames, move back to 65, then move to 120 frames. That makes it 1 second. Great. And then from here, another 1 second, we move to 0. So the 5-second mark, I rotate it back to 0. I need to zoom in on this so that I get the rotation right. Yeah, like this. 0. Now after that, the animation rests for 2 seconds. We have 6, 7, after which nothing happens, and then it loops and begins again. So let me bring this back to fit to window, and then let's go to control and then test our animation. 97, 65, 65, then 0. 2 seconds. 97, 65, 75, 65, 75, and then 0. Then wait for 2 seconds and it begins again. So great. This tutorial was a bit short because most of the work has been done in the first part. And what we are left with to do is to export our file. So let's check again from the question how we are supposed to export it. Export as an animated GIF or shockwave as animated meter, followed by a center number and candidate's number. So go to File, Export, Export as animated GIF. Okay, so we have a preview of your animated meter here. So just make sure over here the preset is okay. You can leave that as unnamed and make sure the type is on GIF, and then press enter. And then we have animated meter as a name, one word. That's very important, followed by a center number and your candidate number. And you can say save. Great. So I think that will do. You can leave your comments in the comment section and you can ask questions, and then make sure you subscribe as well so that we can upload more videos from time to time. So until we meet in the next tutorial, as usual, enjoy the rest of your day. It's bye.